Hi, this is Jenn in Kanata, and I'm going to be making an easy fermented pickle. I'm going to make about 5% brine, and so that is 3 tablespoons of sea salt or kosher salt, but not iodized table salt, per quart or liter. So right there, I have two 2-liter jars filled with water. I'm going to put in my pot so that it can heat up to melt the salt faster. So 12 tablespoons of salt is 3/4 of a cup. So there's 1/4 of a cup. And see, I'll show you the English side. Mediterranean sea salt, coarse or fine. If you use fine, it just dissolves faster. Oops. There we go. Now I'm just going to stir this to get it dissolved. I don't want this to come to a boil. I just want the water to get warm so that the salt can dissolve. And now I'm going to get my cucumbers, which I got here, fresh from the store. I'm going to cut the bloom end off and put them in the pot of water to wash. And there you can see all of the salt is dissolved, or almost, and the water is just warm, not hot. And this is 1 carton of cucumbers. I cut off the bloom end because that's where, if there's any type of diseases or stuff, that's where it will rot first or whatever, so you always want to cut that off to have a more crisper pickle too. So these are just being washed here, and now we're going to go to the garden and pick some grape leaves. In my garden I have a volunteer grapevine going, and I'm going to put some grape leaves on the top of my jars once they're filled to keep the pickles down, and also the grape leaves are supposed to have tannin in them that will help keep the pickles crisp. I'm unsure if that works or not, but it can't hurt, right? So come with me to my garden. So here is my front garden. This is it's almost my shoulder, my elbow, my flowers. And that's a lilac bush, but there's a voluntary grapevine. So I'm going to pick, oops, don't put my finger in there. I'm going to pick some leaves. I'm going to wash and use in my canning of these pickles. I want to pick not really damaged leaves. see, I have echinacea, and these are I call them tall yellow flowers, but here is going to be a bigger head tall yellow flower, as I call it. I'm not very good at remembering names, but that's the leaf of this one. And then I have, so that's this type, that's flower with this type of leaf, and then I have this type of leaf that's also a tall yellow flower. We've been having so much rain, as you can see the skies are cloudy and gonna rain. And that, but this is my garden. A little bit of a update. My butterfly garden. There's also a purpley feathery flower, and my hostas and tiger lilies. So here are the grape leaves. I'm just gonna put them in the water to get rinsed. Now I'm going to fill these jars with pickles. I'll try and stand them on the end here so I can get more in there. It's hard when your hands don't fit in the jar, and they're really tall jars. So there, I packed in tight, having them stand up. Now I'm going to put my garlic in there. It's usually 2 for a quart or 1 for a pint. So I'm putting there. It's almost all packed. I'm going to see if I can get another. Cucumber, maybe a small one I can maybe squeeze. There we go. And you put some fresh dill in there. I probably should put underneath more of the pickles. But I'm going to put a pickle at least, not pickle, cucumber, at least on top of that. As well as a bit of dill seeds. And then we just fill up with the salt solution, the brine. As this will naturally ferment, you should burp the jars every few days or at least once a week. And test them, maybe take one pickle out and slice a bit off, see if it tastes right. There we go. And then I'm putting the clean grape leaves at the top to kind of help keep everything under the brine. And there you go. I have a couple of grape leaves. You could also use, I believe it's oak leaves that have a tannin, or trying to think what the other leaf was. Oak, grape leaves, and some other leaf. You could do that. I'm just putting, this is the time that I'm not using a new lid, but I'm using a clean lid. So one I used for canning before. And just do that. Now, isn't that beautiful? That will turn a dark green, like an army color green, and the brine will turn cloudy. So it's not to be worried about. You might get a film at the top, but that is perfectly fine. You could scoop that up, and then you can, when it's to the desired saltiness, tartness that you like, usually about a week or two or longer, because those, I think about 2 weeks is about half sour, and like a month is like full sour. So it depends on what you like. Just put it into the fridge. Like, you just make sure you burp it, so you lift up the lid and close it. There you go. Most important thing, make sure everything's under the liquid, and then when you're done, just pop it in the fridge, and it can stay there for months. So, hopefully you enjoy and you try this at home. Oh, I almost forgot. Most important thing, put this into a dark, cool place, not in sunlight, for the time that it's fermenting. In the summertime, it'll ferment faster because your house is warmer. In the wintertime, it will ferment slower because your house is cooler. So, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to be putting it on my countertop in a dark corner away from the window. The window in my house is to the left, and I'm going to put it over to the right. There you go. Hopefully you enjoy, and you'll see my videos after this when they are ready, in a couple of weeks to a month, when I decide to take them out.